Okay, good morning and thank you for staying tuned to the radio order 4.7 FM. It's 90 minutes past 9 a.m. and we are saying welcome to the Polity, the first edition of this very program in the year 2026. Of course, it's January 1st, 2026, and we are saying Happy New Year to every one of you. I want to see you succeed in 2026 as we have witnessed this very year. Of course, our prayer is that the year is going to be prosperous and we are going to be blessed in the year 2026. So we thank you for standing with us, being with us all this while, and we cannot stop thanking you. So today's program, of course, happens to be should I say a special one because is going to offer us some time for us to do a kind of review before we delve into the issues for the day. So thank you once more for standing with us. My name is Franklin Ebuka. Good morning once more and welcome to the program. Okay, so the Polity is a program of news and current affairs. It covers paper review of headlines on various newspapers and analysis of the topical developments as captured by these various papers. And today, it's not going to be different, apart from the fact that we're going to bring in a little tweak into what we're going to do today. And if you look at the papers, you will see that there are lots of developments, or even outside papers too, because there are developments that have caught the fancy of many persons. Yesterday we saw videos of spat between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the PG or President General of Onitsha, where they were throwing that at each other. Wike said he watched somebody on TV who was saying something about him, and he made some comment about him saying that he was senator for 8 years and he achieved nothing. And the PG of Onitsha, went, he did a video which was circulated on social media, talked about how Wiki used to wash his car and what have you not, and called him all sorts of names, saying that by 2027, people in River State are going to show him that he's not the emperor and he cannot dictate whatever happens in that very state. Then here in Anambra State, something happened, and the Anambra State government was bold enough to issue a disclaimer to discountenance what happened somewhere in Orca. And guess what? The wife of Chukwemeka Odumegwu, talking about the ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, she was conferred with a chieftaincy title somewhere in Orca by Chief Augustine Chukwuezugondigwe. And the Anambra government got to know about it, and they issued a statement which was signed by the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, talking about Tony Collins Nwabwewande, where the government talked about the nullity of what happened. They are saying that the person who conferred that very chieftaincy title has no local standing to be parading himself as the Obi of Oka or as the monarch of Oka, because for what government is saying is that the only monarch they know in Oka is His Royal Highness Gibson Nwosu. That's the only person they know who can do or confer any kind of chieftaincy title on anybody. You can check out that very statement which was issued by the state government. Of course, it's getting some traction, and some persons are saying that this was a demonstration of speaking the truth, not minding whose ox is God. If you live in Anambra State, you go to the national level where the president addressed the nation. He issued, should I say, an address to the nation on New Year's celebration, and he talked about a whole lot of things in that his very speech. And then there are some other developments that you might want to track. Of course, today, January 1st, is the commencement of the implementation of the tax reform laws that were passed by this very administration and other things. So by the time we begin analysis, we are going to learn more about all these developments, and I'm going to do that with Dr. Olisa Mbeki. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Franklin Ebuka, and a happy new year to you. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, the good people of Anambra State, India, Anambra, worldwide, home and abroad. Good morning to you, everyone under the reach of our voice. Onitsha and Dosimo. It's a pleasure being here. Today is the first day in the year 2026, in the year of our Lord. We made it, as we said yesterday. We bid farewell to 2025, and 2026 here we are. And 2025 was a momentous year. It was a year with all manner of topsy-turvy, roller coaster. So many things happened, and it was a year that was filled with cry, laughs, and so many things. But 2026 is a promised year, there's no doubt. And we thank God for everyone. Many people are right in their villages, in their homes, in their communities. And if you go to different communities in Anambra State, these communities are alive. You will see liveliness in these communities. Many people are going to different streams. Many are doing quite a lot. Communal gathering, communal living, and these exchanges. We thank God for everything. And so far, we have not had any incidents. I don't know, Frank, if you have had any incident at all. No incident so far. That's to tell you that if you can, so we thank everyone for making it, and I'm happy being here. And I say, Happy New Year to everyone, and a prosperous one. A year that would shape quite a lot in the governance, welfare, well-being of Nigerians. You're welcome.
Okay, so talking about the new year, I don't know if you observed, coming toward this very morning, I was asking myself, is it because people are just staying home because it's new year, because they want to rest, or everybody in Onitsha has traveled? In fact, I could count the number of vehicles and tricycles I saw on the road. I don't know if they were up to 5, coming toward this very morning. So I was just wondering, is it people traveled, went to their villages for them to mark the new year, or they are just relaxing at home because it's new year? We don't need to go and stress ourselves. And by the way, it's also a public holiday. So Tony, did you observe that too?
Of course, when I was coming down here, the road was so free. Shops shut down, everywhere closed. If you go to some churches in this area, I'm talking about the urban areas, you will count the number of people in those churches. That's to tell you that people traveled very well. People traveled. People are in the respective communities. We have about 179 towns in Anambra State and 182 communities. But in these 179 towns in Anambra State, I tell you, they are filled with dreams. We've seen all manner of cultural activities, festivities, everything going on. That's to tell you the hallmark. And for those who are outside the country, even came down. Our brothers from Germany, from United States of America, from Canada, from Netherlands, different parts of Europe, different parts of Africa, they all threw down. They all came down. But just like we always say, we have to be very careful. Not everybody that laughs at you or laughs with you is actually your friend. But you don't need to keep an enmity, because this year you can keep boundaries. Keep boundaries, but no enmity. Draw boundaries, but no what? Enmity. Even some will tell you that, Bible will tell you that enemies are bound. But for me, no enmity, just draw boundaries. That's the most important thing. And I tell you something, if you go down the streets of Onitsha, Oka Road, Oguta Road, Ozala Road, these places are empty. And virtually empty, not that you won't see anybody, but virtually empty. And that's to tell you that people are really in their homes, celebrating and enjoying themselves.
Okay, let me share this very story. Yesterday I was discussing with my roommate, and the next thing she said, do you mean that you are going to go to work tomorrow?
People don't understand this our work. Sometimes somebody was telling me, even on Christmas, in a jol, they don't understand. And someone will tell you, if you don't know, what kind of work do you do? The truth remains that we are part of those who render essential service to the society. Essential service. People must know what is going on, what is happening around them, and that is why we are here. We work day, night, no holiday. We don't practice holiday, no leave. According to some people in local parlance, no leave, no transfer. So that's to tell you that if we are not here, you may not conquer your environment. Man must conquer his and you can only do that by knowing what is happening around you, and that is why we are here to do justice to all those things happening around you. So for those of you that may not even understand the work of a media person or a journalist, well, please, once you see a journalist, give a journalist something. It's not easy. For us here, it's not easy, but we keep doing what we are doing. Of course, we enjoy what we do. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so we're going to go to the papers and see the headlines we have there. Okay, so we'll begin with the headlines we have on Tribune newspaper. The banner headline there says, New Year message. Tinubu breaks silence on joint military operations with United States. The story is on page 4. Says his administration will deepen cooperation with regional global partners to eliminate threats to national security. Restates focus on growth-oriented economy. Reforms giving concrete result. That's the main headline on this very page. Then another headline says P2B joins ADC. The story is on page 3. And every other part of the front page of Tribune is taken by an editorial by NRS, Nigeria Revenue Service. Now, if you are wondering why this, of course, from today being January 1st, 2026, the tax reform laws that were passed by the National Assembly and they are sent to by the president, the one which is now generating some hocus pocus. Of course, today is the day is taking effect, and in line with trying to create awareness about some of the changes, the one as FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service, the name has changed. So from today, it is no longer FIRS, it's now NRS, Nigeria Revenue Service. So that's why you are seeing the editorial on the front page of all newspapers we have this very morning. So you can see that headlines are scanty on the front pages. So we have to leave Tribune now and go to Vanguard newspaper. On Vanguard, we have this one that says 2027 journey to rescue Nigeria begins now. P2B. The story is on page 11. Leads three senators, reps members, ex-governors, others to ADC. I will not defect with OB OT. This is the outcome of what happened yesterday in Enugu, where P2B led some political leaders into the ADC. 2026 marks more robust phase for economic growth. Tinubu, the story is on page 8. Tax laws, ADC, LP, NANS, others kick as implementation begins today. The story is on page 5. Then on the front page of Vanguard, you see editorial 2 of New Year message coming from Senator Abdulaziz Yari, former governor of Zamfara State, congratulating Mr. President. Of course, I told you about Yari a few days ago that he has emerged the new board chairman of one new power generating company that Otedola sold his shares to Manpower Company, and people said that the company is linked to him. So these are the headlines we have on Vanguard newspaper. Then we go over to the Guardian. Guardian has few headlines. Obi's ADC defection fractures LP, reshapes opposition ahead of 2027. The story is on page. Okay, it's on pages 2 and 6 of the Guardian. Investors bullish on Nigeria's stock market and 37 trillion naira in 2025. The story is on page 15, which is a business page. Abuja court dismisses suit against new tax act. January 1 takeoff. The story is on page 4. Abuja court dismisses suit against new tax act. January 1st takeoff. Did the court actually dismiss the suit, or the court refused to grant interim order which was sought by the plaintiff? Then you also see an editorial on the front page of the Guardian, which is on page it's also from the same NRS. Then the final headline we have here says Tinubu promises better economy security amid opposition's knocks. The story is on page 6. Then over to the Punch newspaper. The banner headline here says 2026 outlook. Tinubu pledges strong economic rebound. The story is on page 2. He has a rider, President prioritizes lower inflation, stronger reserves, rising GDP in 2026. Governors, lawmakers urge unity, security reforms. And the headline says 2027 showdown. APC assures Tinubu's return as OBI's ADC ticket. The story is on page 2. And the last headline on this very front page says 600 billion naira war chest can't save Fubara in 2027. Wiki, the story is on page 7. Of course, I don't know whether Wiki is doing local government tour, because yesterday he was in another local government and he kept saying that he's not into politics, that he's not politicking yet, that he's going to begin by January, but he's going around, trying to demarcate Fubara, telling them why they are going to elect a new person. And yesterday, guess what? He said that agreement he had with Fubara before Mr. President, that he's going to reveal it if Fubara fails to do that by himself. The other headlines you might see on the Vanguard newspaper, this one says NNPC post 502 billion naira profit, cuts petrol below 800 naira per litre. A damage assessment of joint US Nigeria airstrikes ongoing. DHQ is the one saying that. Tax laws, court OK's January 1 takeoff amid protest. Nigeria post $3.42 billion surplus as fuel export jump 44%. 2,351 terrorists killed in 2025 air raid. NAF. So if we're able to eliminate 2,000 plus terrorists, and we still have plenty of them, then that means they are running in thousands or in hundreds of thousands. 2025 NGX recorded 36.46 trillion capitalization gain. Bauchi Finance Commissioner, others arraigned for $9.25 million laundering. And this one says solidarity. Oshimen Ndidi Osai console Joshua after fatal loss. And of course, Joshua was discharged from the hospital yesterday, so he can now operate from home while he continued to receive treatment on the injuries he sustained due to that fatal crash that happened in the southwestern part of Nigeria. So these are the headlines we have this very morning. Next will be for us to bring you analysis of this very issue. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to The Polity. My name is Franklin and Ebuka, and this is a new year edition of this very show. This is the 1st of January 2026, and we're here with you to look at developments in the polity. Why are you relaxed at home? Get ready what you want to eat, what you want to dine with on this very new year. Of course, many people were in the churches yesterday, where they had their crossover night. Some are still in church this very morning, trying to pray to God for open doors in 2026. Well, of course, our prayer for you is that whatever you are asking God for this very year, those things are going to come to pass, as long as they are for good. They are for your good and for the good of mankind. If it's a bad thing, we are going to join in there now. All right. So all we want to see is that let's all be good in 2026. That thing that you expect from Mr. A or Mr. B, also ensure that you also do your part, because that's the only way we can make progress. So Tony, from Anambra State here, let's quickly touch on this, because this seems to be, or this is the second time that the government of Anambra State is reaffirming that there is only one monarch in Oka. The first time was, I think that was some months after the governor of Anambra State came into office in his first term. The one we know as Eninkulu.
That was 2022.
Yes, Eninkulu.
Yeah.
The governor made a bold statement or bold stance on who the monarch of Oka is. And this time around, we didn't even know that there was this conferment of chieftaincy title on Ambassador Bianca Choku, who is the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. But the government issued a statement yesterday saying that whatever that was done on Bianca by Obi Austin Chukwuezugondigwe, that it is a nullity because nothing can stand on illegality. So, Tony, how do you look at this?
I saw the confinement, there's no doubt. I think we saw a situation where Austin Ndigwe, popularly known as Ezozo or something like that, conferred the chieftaincy title to Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. I saw the post she made about that. I did not even see the conferment, but she made a post on her Facebook's handle that she was conferred with the title of Anyanwu Ototona Awalo Owa, something of that nature. And by who? By Austin Ndigwe. The truth remains that there was a rebuttal by the Anambra State government through the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, and I saw the release made by Honorable Mwabuwande, who is the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters. And then it was a lengthy one. Of course, he itemized some salient points, and if you look at those points he itemized, I quite agree with him. There's no doubt. We must call a spade a spade. Remember, just like you pointed out earlier on, when the governor was sworn in, he went to a kind of a gathering or whatever it was that he invited the governor. The governor publicly told him that in Orca, as far as Orca Ancient Kingdom is concerned, we have one traditional ruler, and that person is His Royal Majesty Igwe Gibson Wozu Uzuoka. So the thing is, he even told him, "You are my friends." The governor was telling him, even those time he was at the CBN and a lot of things, but he cannot bend what cannot be bent. He cannot change the rules. He cannot change the goalpost. As a governor, he cannot give you something of such nature because you are close to him. No, he told him that pray in your own time, it may get to you. If your people, if they come together and decide that you are going to be the traditional ruler, you will be. But for now, you have one traditional ruler who still exists. I think I heard that Igwe Gibson is about 92 years, a non-Nigerian. And for those who may not understand who this man is, Ezozo too, he was 1 second in command in Biafran Air Force during the time Biafra was declared. Second in command. He flew a fighter jet solo. He was the first to do so. And when Ojukwu went into exile, was in exile in Ivory Coast, he was there with him for 15 years. He was there in exile with Ojukwu for 15 years. So the problem we know very well is a prolonged one. A prolonged traditional stew. That's kingship dispute. Because a faction of kingmakers and supporters of Ndigwe claim that he should be the traditional ruler, that the previous ruler was removed through legitimate process. Remember, Ndigwe and his backers say their claim is grounded in traditional authority and community decision. Meanwhile, Igwe Gibson Wosu and the state government maintain that due legal and customary processes were not followed for any valid dethronement. You did not dethrone him. And if you look around, it was a case of a friend betraying a friend. He was during the when at initial stage, they were close. One was more like Onowu, and the Onowu ganged up and dethroned the king, and said that the king had been dethroned and made himself king, and is back. But over time, different successive Anambra State government They have all knocked down at such illegal dethronement, and they said it does not hold water. And so, in any case, you can't be. Most time, we've seen situations whereby the main Igwe Gibson will be doing Ofala. He will be doing his own Ofala. We've seen where government has stopped that using security agencies.
Now, does Anambra State government have special interest in the throne? Okay, the traditional throne of Oka, because I know that the likes of Northia 2, I think Northia 2 is also having similar thing, in as much as their own cases in court. But the way Anambra State government has been very vociferous, very unrelenting, and not trying to bend any rules when it comes to that. Is it because that is the seat of power and the government wants to, protect the sanctity and sacredness of that very traditional stool? Because over time, we have seen that the governor has demonstrated what people call courage, to have looked his friends in the face and say, nah, happy here. It's not for you now.
If he fails to do that, there will be anarchy in the society. Because if you stand for what is just, for what is right, there will be peace. You can imagine when the governor maybe had not done what he has done. What do you think would happen? There will be breakdown of land order. And no matter how you try to quell it, how long will it go? So the point is, governor has done well by ensuring that the right thing is done. And we have Anambra State traditional rulers law, which is also in place. You don't negate that. You can only be recognized as a traditional ruler if your people choose you, decide that you are the traditional ruler, and where government supervises such process, because such process will be supervised by the government to ensure that it is well vetted and is well in line with the extant law. So it is important that this issue, for now, if not for one thing, if not for friendship, by now the governor may have arrested Austin Ndigwe, started prosecuting him, and even in a way bar him from conducting any traditional activity without the imprimatur of the aged traditional ruler of Oka Kingdom. 92 years is not by a small feat. So nobody is praying for anything to happen. But the truth remains that I don't know what he sees so much in that very stool. I don't know what he sees. In fact, he keeps making such a section that is the paramount strategy. And the people of Okada, apart from those factional kingmakers that backed him, if you ask an average Oka person, the average Oka person will tell you that he's not their traditional ruler. And I'm aware that they are listening to us. So, my concern is the governor has done well, has done right. So, we look forward to stopping the other, what I call it, the other person from what he has been doing.
And also, to what extent would we say that there was a compliance with the Anambra Traditional Law, Anambra Traditional Council law, which requires that if you are going to get a chief's title in another community, your own Igwe must give an express approval before that can be done. We can recall the case of Ifan Yoba and then the Igwe of Ojoto and Co. and what, as in cases that we can cite that happened in the past, which brought about some kind of bad blood and some debate within our circles that time. So one not only is to what extent was that provision in that very law complied with, and also the person that received that very chieftaincy title, was the person unaware of the issue around the claim to the worship of the Oka Kingdom?
I think it's an important thing. Remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance, even if you don't know that the law provides things. The idea is to bring sanity, to bring orderliness, to bring decorum in our traditional affairs. And I so much support the fact that, because there are people that will go and take chieftaincy title and brag it before their Igwe and tell their Igwe, what you cannot give me, I can get it anywhere. the idea of the law is to correct certain anomalies. Because sometimes why we have law is to make some corrections. Laws are corrective in nature. Things that we believe that are not in one way or the other going the way they should be going, we bring in law to correct them and to bring equity, fairness, transparency. And these are reasons we have law. And why we introduced what you said was clearly to address such braggadocio, that issue of megalomaniacs, many of them who believe that they have made money, they have come with this, but they are not in tune with the community. They go out there and bring in something and try to flash it before everybody who cares to know and brag it. In my community, let me say this: if you have got a chieftaincy title in any town, you cannot wear a red cap in my community. You can only wear red cap in my community if you pass through Nzenozo process in my community. Once somebody confer title on you in another community, you can only wear the red cap in that community or elsewhere. You can't wear it in my community. It's our standing rule. I think it should be also be incorporated in Anambra State Traditional Rulers and then Chieftaincy Affairs Act law. We should also incorporate it, because the people should know who is a member of their traditional institution. You can't grab it somewhere and come and foist it on your people. No. You asked the ambassador who was conferred with such title, is she aware of such rules that before you are conferred with such title that their traditional ruler should also be involved or gives his consent? Of course, she is from Newi by marriage. I'm aware probably she may have communicated to Igbo Riz, but Igbo Riz, remember, celebrated 100 years. I don't know. I'm just giving her benefit of doubt. But the issue is that if you look at the press release by the Ministry of Chieftaincy Matter, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, they say that she is in the know. But she refrained from addressing Austin Indigwe as the traditional ruler in her post. But she addressed him as the Supreme Commander of Oka Kingdom. And the Ministry of Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Matter says such position does not exist. There is no such position of Supreme Commander.
Okay, so because what we can take away from this is this: the law knows nobody, and if we can begin to enforce the law without looking at whose ox is God, the better. Why are we saying this? If you look at Austin Ndiwe, of course, he's a friend to the governor. You look at Ambassador Bianco Juku, he's a friend to the governor, and also of the same party. But for the government of Anambra State to have looked at these very people and still, called a spade, saying that this does not add up. Of course, we have to give them the flowers for doing that, and we're hoping that this can be extended to other issues so that the law should be elevated at every point in time, not minding who is involved. And we're going to leave this issue now and get to
before we conclude, because
okay.
Because I want to make one statement here. Because if you look around Austin Indigo, this is 2026. This claim he started since 2017. If you look around now, it should be around 9 years. This year will make it 9 years. He started making this claim of being the Igwe of anything. And then at the same time, we are once a prime minister, traditional prime minister, what people call Ono, to Austin to Gibson Wosu, Igwe Gibson Wosu. For one reason, for selfish reason, you gathered some kingmakers and then in that kangaroo dethronement and started making such claim. He has been there since 1999. I'm talking about Igwe Gibson Wosu as recognized traditional ruler since 1999. So my concern is he should make, if you look at the video where the governor was addressing him, he was laid back. He couldn't make a statement. And if you look at the photos we've seen on this new conferment, it's a slap on Orca traditional stool. It's a slap on a man who is still alive. Igwe Gibson is still alive. Though he is blind, he cannot see. But for the fact he is blind, you cannot take such advantage. For you want to be an Igwe, he's Igwe for life until he's normal. So he should respect the people of Orca respect the traditional institution of Oka, respect everything. You cannot be conducting Ofala, you cannot be conducting Iwaji, you cannot be also be conferring chieftaincy title on people. You don't do this. Governor has warned you.
Okay, so let me just quickly drop this mic. The dilemma I had some years ago, I think that should be about 6 or 7 years ago. There was one event in Orifte. I was the MC at that very event. And guess what? All of a sudden, somebody brought me a paper, written with the names, on that paper were the names of some people I was going to recognize. And I recognized them. Then all of a sudden, somebody was coming in, and somebody came and gave me names to recognize. And I saw a name somewhere as the Igbo of Oka. In my small mind then, I was like, but I think I know who the Igbo of Oka is. Does it mean that the Igbo of Oka, went somewhere, somebody's trying to... But guess what now? You are in somebody's event, and somebody gave you a name to recognize that very event. It wasn't a palatable experience that very day, knowing that, oh, somebody I know is the Igbo, but in this very event, I was given another name to recognize as the Igbo of Oka. So we're going to go into other things now, so that we look at, but we have to begin with the year 2025, because 2025 has ended and we are now in 2026. 2025, how was it for Nigeria? What are those things that made 2025 thick or shaped 2025 in terms of politics, that maybe there could be relics of those things in 2026? So we're going to look at all these things after this very commercial break.
Udala Radio, 104.7 FM.
Merry Christmas from all of us.
Udala Radio
104.7.
Now hear the Christmas Day sweet pass.
As the year draws to a close, we pause not just as a radio station, but as a grateful partner to say thank you. Thank you for believing in our voice. Thank you for trusting our platform. And thank you for choosing to grow with us throughout this year. From the beginning of this year to its final days, your support kept our microphones on, our programs impactful, and our community connected. Your patronage was more than business. It was confidence. It was partnership. At this moment, we sincerely appreciate Winners Global Estate, Celebrity Landlady, and Anti-Drug Organization. We say thank you to Wendy's Bread, Baboyo Herbal, Olojugu Microfinance Bank, and their real homes. Our gratitude also goes to Crystal Garden Estate, Fazona Real Estate, Best Aluminium, Microfinance Bank, and Choose Star and Correct Star Wire. We acknowledge the support of Aswage Assets, Waskana Solar, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, Higher Ground Real Estate, Zenapex, and Christ Embassy. We also appreciate the Onitsha North Local Government and the Anambra State Government for their trust and collaboration. As we step into a new year, we do so with renewed commitment, fresh energy, and a promise to serve you even better. Thank you for an amazing year. We look forward to greater partnerships, greater impact, and greater success together in the year ahead. Because together, we are Udala. 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so you're listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. This is the Polity, first edition of this very show in 2026. My name is Franklin, and I'm with Dr. Olisa Mbeki. We just finished talking about what happened on the chieftaincy title that was conferred on Ambassador Bianca Chuku. And we're going to cross over to the review of 2025 so that we can make our projections into 2026 and then get on other matters. I talked about 2025 being a year of different definitions. If you ask many Nigerians how the year was, they'll have a whole lot to tell you. But when it comes to politics, a lot of things happened which we can identify. So those things that happened, those significant things that happened in 2025 that shaped our political structure, what are those things that their relics might be found or might be seen or might move into 2026? So Tony, for you, 2026, how did Nigeria fare? What were the high points in politics? And then how are we looking at these things crossing over into 2026?
2025 witnessed a lot of political developments. And many were surprising, many were more like what we know would happen. There's no doubt. And then you can also understand that just like yesterday was that first. We saw the defection of Mr. P2B to ADC in a dramatic end of the year move. I think that was the what would I call the concluding part, because that's exactly what concluded the 2025 in perspective. So, and we saw emergency rule in River State, and for me that was the major highlight. In March, President Tinubu declared a 6-month state of emergency in that very state amid protracted political conflicts involving the governor and his godfather, the Minister of FCT Wike. So you thought the governor, the deputy, and the lawmakers, they were all suspended, which also sparked debates over federal overreach and constitutional limits. We are here talking about it. We are here, we discussed, we argued, and we saw PDP launching a litigation at the Supreme Court where the attorney generals of the PDP states invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court on that matter. And Supreme Court did not even entertain the matter until the emergency rule elapsed. That was what many Nigerians felt was a slide on the part of the Supreme Court, not entertaining an issue when the issue itself was live. They came to look into it when the matter was dead. The need for us to entertain life issues as against dead issues, and in fact, even in their judgment, it created more confusion, more lacuna, more vacuums, more interpretations, and we are not out of this quagmire. If it happens again, nobody knows the position of the Supreme Court that has the mandate to interpret our laws. And we saw also re-election of Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo as the governor of Anambra State. Before then, we saw the by-elections in different parts of the country. That was September. I think, was it September 16, if I can still recall the exact date? By-elections across different senatorial districts, federal constituencies, and state houses of assembly, state constituencies as well. We saw that by-election. Then on November 8th, we had the governor incumbent won a landslide in Anambra governorship election. In fact, he won in all the 21 local government areas with around 422,000 votes. He won in 318 wards across 326 wards, because there were some wards that were declared invalid. Results were not actually tallied, and it was the first major off-cycle election under INEC's new leadership. And it was something conducted by Amopiton. We also saw the departure of Mahmoud Yakubu, who conducted the 2023 general election that introduced a new word, glitches, in our political lexicography. We saw that. We saw his departure. And we saw the coming of Amopiton from Kogi West Senatorial District. And statements, analysis were made about this person, They are moving on the new INEC chairman. We also saw passage and assent to major tax reform laws. We saw 4 landmarks bills were passed and signed into law, which, according to the presidency, aim to harmonize taxation, boost revenue, and reduce burdens on low-income earners. They said it is progressive, not retrogressive, where those who earn little, they are tax exempt, they are exempted from making or paying tax. Those who earn more, they pay high. Those who earn little, pay little. That is progressive, what we call pro rata. The one that, according to them, the one we had before was repressive and retrogressive, where even paddle pushers, hawkers, many people who should have ordinarily been exempted from payment of tax were all in the tax net. We saw that in 2025. We also saw the establishment of geopolitical zonal development commissions, because we saw where 6 geopolitical zones receive fully constituted development commissions with boards and management intended to address regional infrastructural gaps and improve subnational governance. The Southeast had their own town. Mark Okoye is the MD and Chief Executive Officer of Southeast Development Commission. We also saw the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Remember, it generated a lot of controversies. You know, many of us talked this over time. She was suspended for 6 months. And we saw the battle she had with Ababio, the Senate President. And many Nigerians were divided on this issue. And we saw her outburst, and then what generated or what caused the problem. Remember, we also saw sometime around, that was issue of security, you know, the protest on insecurity. We saw these things. Ochowore began his own, and we saw the crackdown, where people wanted to protest against insecurity and everything surrounding that. And remember, even the airstrike by United States of America, because that one happened just some days back. That was on the 25th December, where there was this airstrike on Islamist militants, Boko Haram, and then killer headers in the northwest, in Sokoto. So, in all of this, remember, just like we said, there are many of them. And also, I would also want situation whereby you ask me which one. For me, the issue of that state of emergency, where Mr. President on March 18, 2025, declared state of emergency in River State and lifted it on September 18, 2025. So it was one of the major political developments. And then the issue of mass defection to APC and this shift towards one party dominance. The most notable waves of these shifts started in April 2025, where we saw defections of Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori. He defected in April. And also additional defections occurred sometime around October, where lawmakers from Enugu and Plateau defected, and we saw Peter Mba defecting as well. We also saw the governor of Bayelsa State, we saw the governor of Akwa Ibom. They all defected. All of them defected. In fact, in Akwa Ibom State, there is PDAP, PDAPC. In River State, there is still PDAPC. But P2B defected his own, and that was yesterday. And in all of this, we keep seeing, I think apart from that, also the issue of the tax law that was passed sometime around June 26th. It was assented by Mr. President on June 26th. It has been generating a lot of talks. So I also saw that as one of the highlights. And then also the establishment of geopolitical zone, just like I said, that one happened around February and also around March, because the one of South-South was consummated around March, and then Southeast and then Southwest. They have every zone has its own commission as we speak now. So I don't want to talk about that Senate suspension of Natacha Duagan. There were people that decided to take it up as one of the highlights. For me, it's just a petty one. It happened around March.
So Tony, from the things you have mentioned, because I just want us to see how we can move over to 2026 now. If you look at the issue of defections and the fear of one-party state, it is still there, and we are still going to encounter it in 2026, in as much as we now have ADC trying to see how they can rebuild to become the third force. The issue of Anambra election, that one ended in 2025. What we're going to look at 2026 is to see how the governor is going to improve on what he has achieved so far. Then, for the opposition who are in disarray, 2026 holds a whole lot for them to see whether they are going to rebuild or not, especially for the PDP and Labour Party. Let's see whether they will be able to find their feet again, and then ADC also on the horizon. Then Amopito, our eyes are on him in 2026 to see how he's going to carry himself and organize INEC ahead of the.
There's another one I did not even
election.
mention. I just remembered the issue of conviction of Nnamdi Kanu.
Exactly.
You know, he was convicted. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. So it is something we must also look into. I also look at the issue of mass kidnappings and then insecurity, especially in the northwest, where persistent banditry led to major incidents, which included the kidnapping of nearly 400 people, about 287 school children in Kaduna State in March 2025. And also these events, you know, pinpoint one thing: the ongoing security. So, just like I said, we saw a lot in this period. It saw a lot. And then I'm also aware. I want to also mention this. Atiku defected to ADC officially, just as P2B did on 31st of December. Atiku did his own. That was in November. So he moved to ADC. So P2B moved a month after. And we saw also the total collapse of PDP in South-South geopolitical zone. And the PDP is just like a ghost party as we speak now. I wonder what would happen. I don't know if you have the statement credited to Bauchi State Governor, where he did a lot of skating allegation. You know, he said something, he dared Mr. President. I'm talking about Bala Muhammad. He dared Mr. President. So we also have to add that as one of the developing issues. He said that he has not been talking. He has decided not to talk, that they blacklisted him as a sponsor of Boko Haram. Bala Muhammad was saying that federal government blacklisted him as a sponsor, one of the sponsors of Boko Haram, a sitting governor, that his commissioners, they have been picked by EFCC, there have been a lot of things, that even with his immunity, because he did not want to join APC. The pressure was so much for him to join APC, he said no, that he will not be joining APC. The next was to designate him as a sponsor of Boko Haram. And he did not just end there, where there had been all manner of harassment. He said that the federal government has not built a kilometer of road in Bauchi State, not even a single kilometer of road, and they want to introduce this tax law where he said that you can imagine a tax system where the federal government has been taking 51% and some nationals taking anything less than that, and yet not even a single kilometer of road has been built in Bauchi State. Now you understand all these politics, that before now he has decided not to talk, he has chosen not to speak for one reason, for peace to reign, but he cannot continue to keep quiet. That this is time to, I think he was given an award. In that award he was trying to spill a lot of things, and he said he cannot continue to allow things to go the way they are going, that they are going to resist the president, they are going to do everything mobilized against him, that this will stop. I mean, I don't know, probably if I get a video, probably you will understand the very tirade coming from Bala Muhammad. I was asking myself, is this Bala Muhammad talking, or is somebody talking through him? I don't know.
Okay, because so we're likely to hear more of this kind of thing in 2026, because it's going to be the election, or the year preceding the election year. So of course we're going to see a whole lot, and likewise movement from one political party to the other. And yesterday, P2B formalized his membership of the ADC. People who were there, in fact, lots of persons who were there, But we have seen different reactions coming from different quarters. One, from the presidency. Presidency has tried to downplay what happened yesterday in Enugu State, claiming that it's of no consequence. Then, I talk about reaction that came from Labour Party, saying that it was a good riddance, that for them, P2B leaving the Labour Party was liberation for Labour Party. So Donny, let's look at the reactions during this very defection of P2B to the ADC. We talked about the defection, so we're not going to go and waste our time on that very one. Let's talk about these reactions.
Bye.
Now, the first one I'm going to look at now is the reaction that came from Bayo Nanoga. If we are going to go through that very reaction by Bayo Nanoga, he said a lot of things. But in the midst of what he said, you can see some element of venom, some element of vile, some element of indignation, some element of hate. And the question has been, why is Onanuga always picking on Obi? And each time he does, we see these things reflecting in what he writes.
I don't know. I think Onanuga, as you have said it all, because he has something to iron out with P2B. And then I tell you something, P2B seems to be his nightmare. There is no doubt about that. But in all of his outbursts, he has not also reacted to all his outbursts. He called him a political wanderer. He reminded us that P2B moved from ABGA to PDP, from PDP to Labour, from Labour to ADC, that he has moved from different political parties over time. Another called him a political wanderer, and then you called him all sort of names. He called him in that release yesterday, saying, but you know why he was actually picking on Obi? Obi was actually in that defection talking about how the government has not just impoverished the people, but government has used their tools to make poverty to be a weapon. So there was a way Obi addressed the concern of how Nigerians are poor, how things are not working, and so many things going wrong in this country, bad governance, bad infrastructure, and bad, so many things. And then Onanuga did not take it lightly, because they are following Obi, they are monitoring Obi. Presidency monitors Obi, monitors his statements, monitors his movements, and it's one of the evidence. So we know that one was actually telecast on many media handles and media channels. But the key thing is, Onanuga does not see Obi eyeball to an eyeball, because we know what interest. He wants to challenge Bola Ahmed to be his principal. So if Obi becomes president, he won't be there. So, but he goes on to make what we call punch below the belt. They wanted him to address issues Obi raised, not possibly attacking his character, his personality, his kind of person. I don't think politics of mudslinging is the best. Yes, if there are issues he raised, counter those issues with their points, and tell Nigerians why Nigeria is in the safe hands of the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, without necessarily castigating his personality. Honestly, for me, because in argument, if you have studied fallacies, you understand that he has engaged in argumentum ad hominem. That's the fallacy he has committed. So, for me, in as much he attempted to address the issues Obi was actually raising, but he did not in any way have what it takes to address them fully. He did not address them fully. So he doesn't like him, there's no doubt. And just like you pointed out, and this manifests each time he talks about him. For me, even if you look at that very statement released yesterday, Mr. President may not have even authorized it. But he found that there was need to do that, at least to also command more honor from Mr. President. So that's just what happened.
Okay, then the reaction coming from Labour Party reacted. Labour Party led by Abure reacted to the Obi's defection, saying that Obi leaving the party was a liberation for the party, and they went in to apologize to Nigerians for fielding him as the candidate in 2023, saying that he was unfit. It was a mistake that they fielded Obi in 2023. Tony, how are you looking at this very reaction?
It's very, very laughable. Who knows Abure before Obi joined that party? Personally, I don't know who Abure is. How many of us do not even know? You've been with Wike, and possibly people believe Wike is also using you to hold an Labour Party, as alleged by Jay Makinde. That you are now begging Nigerians to forgive you. Forgive you for what? For making you popular? Were you popular before as a person, Abure? Who knows you as a person, Abure? Somebody made you popular. And now you think you have arrived. But all this stuff, I think, is very, very laughable, just like I said. It's very laughable. But I have always maintained one thing. I've said it many times. 2026 is going to be a defining build-up to 2027 general election. By February, INEC will be releasing timetable for 2027 election. By February, they will be releasing timetable. So we are going to see a lot. Primaries and so many things will be happening in quick succession. But we know very well, just like I've said many times, with the present electoral system, most of the oppositions may be battling in vain with what we have on ground. And you know, whenever I say the odds favor Mr. President made a lot of inroads when he was not in power. Now he's sitting on the saddle, so you can imagine. So they will tell you, "Can they leave for Yamuanya?" But all the same, let's see how. But Nigerians, I believe, will be given the ample opportunity to make a decision.
Does it make any striking conviction on what Labour Party said? You know, Labour Party led by Abure, of course, Obiorifo spoke for them. He said that the problem they have in Labour Party was engineered by P2B and Alex Oti.
If you look at the problem, it's a problem of leadership. Somebody who has been there does not want to leave. The Labour Party problem is all about Abure not handing over, trying to perpetuate himself in power. So if you say that it was engineered by Oti, you have to tell us how. If you said it was engineered by P2B, you have to tell us how. The only point was that P2B was indecisive throughout the whole period this thing was happening. At a point, you would think he was on the side of Abure. At the point, you would think it was. In fact, it was likes of Oti that dragged P2B out of Abure clause. Abure was, holding P2B so tight that Obi was indifferent to the issue of leadership. That was what made likes of Kenneth Okonkwo, the one we know as Andy. He left, saying that as our leader, you don't need to be indecisive, you need to be decisive. So it was likes of Alex Oti that dragged P2B out of Abure's clause. And the moment, because Abure went to Newi and organized a kangaroo congress, and in that congress, they made P2B the candidate of the party. Even when INEC has not released timetable for election, they automatically gave P2B the ticket of the party. It was one of the tricks. It was one of his ploys to keep on holding P2B. Now you are telling the man you made or you gave automatic ticket that you are liberated. Is that not antithetical? I mean, I don't know. Most times these politicians think that they are talking to children. Problem P2B had was being indecisive.
Okay, so yesterday we saw the persons that moved into the ADC with him. Would you say that a political statement was made yesterday at that event that was in Enugu State?
Each time a politician makes statement is a political statement.
No, from what we saw, from the caliber of persons who were at that very event, people who moved into ADC with him, was any political statement made? Because if you look at why they chose Enugu, they said Enugu has a history, and at the same time they wanted to use the platform to make a statement that is going to shape 2027 general election.
Well, the statement was made, there's no doubt, but I'm actually looking at the people that move with P2B. I'm actually looking at, of course, senators They moved. I saw Senator Victor Ume, the senator representing Anambra Central. He moved with him. Senator Tony Nwoye, Anambra North. He moved with him. We also saw Ojelibo, Senator Ben Ndiobi. We saw him leaving PDP. Of course, he had been in PDP for a very long time. So he moved with him. We also saw Gilbert Nnaj, former senator representing Enugu East. He had already defected from PDP to ADCC anyway, but then he was at that event yesterday. We saw Achiku Denwa, former governor of Imo State. For me, he should be a retired politician now. I don't know. In fact, yesterday was a day I remember Achiku Denwa. I've not seen him for a very long time, but he's a retired politician, but he's retired, not tired. We saw him defecting to ADC. I wonder what he'll be coming out for again. But we also saw Chifonyem Ugochukwu, veteran political figure, joining Obi in that defection. So if you look at all these people, even in near Baribe, left Abga, in near Baribe, representing Abia South. So he joined ADC. In fact, Abga, we felt disappointed in him when all roads were blocked for you. Abga gave you that ticket. I don't know why, exactly what Rochas Okorocha did. Abga gave Rochas Okorocha ticket. He became governor. What did he do? He jumped into APC. Today, I don't know whereabouts of Rochas Okorocha and what Abga did for Engineer Barrow, because they did everything to frustrate him in PDP. He was frustrated in PDP. Denied him ticket. Everything was all the odds. In fact, the whole thing was that he would not be in at the Senate. Abga gave him lifeline. And all this why? What has he done for Abga? But Abga will feel disappointed. There's no doubt about that. Then you also look at the broader political dynamism in ADC. We know very well that Atiku, yes, had before now joined ADC in November. Nasiru El-Rufai, he joined ADC. Rauf Arebuchala, ADC. But we are talking about the one that happened yesterday. I mean, look at these calibers of people. Apart from Abaribe, Victor Ume, Tony Nwoye, these are the three serving senators who joined Obi. No governor followed Obi. Oti did not follow Obi. If Oti had followed Obi, it would have been much more than a political statement. But Oti said, I'm not going to follow you. That he was going to remain in labor, that he's going to fight to the end. That's what he said. That leadership tussle. That he is going to fight to the end until it is done on him that there is no other option, that it is not, the labor is no more redeemable. But now he still believes that the party is redeemable. Of course, we said yesterday about the agreement in place between P2B and Atiku and then ADC stakeholders. So we've talked about that one yesterday. We are not going to talk about it again. So these are people riding they are riding on Obi's back. Abaribe, Victor Ume, Tony Nwoye. I don't know. Ben Obi may not contest for senatorial election because I know he's of the same senatorial district with Victor Ume.
Because what we're looking at now is what value can these people bring to the ADC? Because what ADC needs now is they want to see how they can build so that they'll be able to mount a good challenge to the ruling party in 2027.
I think if you look at those who move with Obi, apart from Engineer Baribe, who can win election for himself, others may need Obi to win the election. And from the look of things, the way Soludo has come out this time around, an issue of grassroots politics, I wonder, I won't make predictions because I always say there's no polling booth on social media, but it's going to be tough. But Obi is a force, no doubt. But these are people who will be riding on Obi's shoulder, or maybe they'll be riding on his back for their political survival, for their political future. There is no doubt. But Remember, people will tell you it's not about those who are moving to ADC. That is about the people. That the 2027 will be APC and the people, not classes of people who are joining ADC. No, ADC, APC, and Nigerians. Well, maybe we may see more defections, but as we speak now, there is ADC has no sitting governor, and people will ask, do they need a sitting governor? I don't know if you follow what I'm talking about. Funds remains the life wire. Funds. You know, it's easy when a governor is on your own side. At least availability of funds. Unless Nigerians will do crowdfunding for ADC. But funds, those security votes coming from governors.
So, Obi didn't have that very structure in the last election. People said there was no governor on his side, there was no lawmaker on his side, but he was able to pull the weight he pulled. That if he could do it in 2023, he can as well replicate that in 2027.
Simple answer: Nigerians crowdfunded him. Nigerians brought their money. You saw what was going on between Aisha Yusufu and Abure. And Abure was saying that he didn't touch the money. Nigerians on their own brought their money from far and wide to us in overseas. Something unseen before. Before now, it has always been governors and the presidents doing their thing. But Nigerians, that was only election. Nigerians confounded. So whether they will do that is another thing. If they don't do that, I remember the one Obi had with Atiku Abubakar in 2019. They were in PDP. From PDP, governors contributed a lot. And Obi brought his own money. But after that period, Obi stopped bringing his own money during elections. So would Nigerians confound him again is another thing. And would what happened in 2023 replicate is also another thing. 2023 and 2027 will not be the same.
Okay. All right. So we have a commercial break now. Stay with us. We'll be right back to open the phone lines.
From the commercial city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region. Where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread. For your family breakfast, Wendy's bread. Apache chane tozialo, Wendy's bread. Mama papa they like Wendy's bread. Chichane nyanduo, Wendy's bread. Even children they like Wendy's bread. Oh, Wendy's bread. And in town, Wendy's bread. You get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread. Wendy's your bachichoma. Wendy's bread,
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, 2nd Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tandy Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
When you think of roofing, think of strength. When you think of durability, think of beauty. And when you think of all three combined, think Best Aluminium MFG Limited. At Best Aluminium, we don't just manufacture roofing sheets. We create protection, comfort, and style for your home and business. Whether you're building from scratch or repairing an old roof, we have exactly what you need. Our products include stone-coated roofing sheets, aluminum roofing sheets, and colored roofing sheets. But that's not all. We also offer residential and commercial roofing services, roof repairs, gutters, emergency roofing services, and even durable cookwares that bring quality to your kitchen. Visit us today at 30/32 Anyika Street, Street, Awada Obosi, Anambra State, or call us right now on 0806 416 2374 or 0706 059 6203. With Best Aluminium, you're investing in peace of mind, in beauty, and in the future of your home. Because when it comes to roofing, the best choice is always Best Aluminium MFG Limited. Tomorrow's technology today. Public notice. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, has set up an ESCO committee for the recovery of all government land at Otumoye Creek, Onitsha, in Onitsha South local government area of Anambra State. All persons purportedly laying claim to all those parcels or plots of land located at Otumoye Creek, Onitsha, are by this notice requested to submit the following documents to the Office of the Commissioner for Lands. 1. Allocation letter. 2. Certificate of occupancy. 3. Building plan approval. And 4. Any other relevant documents conferring ownership of such plots of land to the individual. All documents are to be submitted in 2 sets within 14 working days from the date this notice was first published. No submission will be received or attended to after the expiration of the said 14 working days. Signed, Mrs. Nkiru Mokwe, Esquire, Permanent Secretary for Commissioner for Lands.
It's the fiesta of the year. It's the carnival of the year. The Anambra State government, led by the Solution Governor, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, presents Onwa December, a special sizzling and scintillating Christmas extravaganza that will make December 2025 a spectacular December in Anambra State. Onwa December, featuring City Block, a live performance by various Gen Z musicians in Anambra State on 18th December, 6 p.m. at Oka City Stadium near Solution Fund City, Oka. Anambra Christmas Carol on 20th December, 4 p.m. at Alex Ekweme Square, Oka. Children's Christmas Festival on 25th December, Christmas Day, 2 p.m. at Solution Fund City, Oka. Ibam Mawu Festival on 28th December, 2 p.m. at Township Stadium, Ekulobia. Novelty Match on 29th December, 2 p.m. at Oka Township Stadium. Ibam Mawu Festival on 29th December, 2 p.m. at Ezechima Primary School, Onitsha. Flavor Homecoming, featuring Flavor Nabania and Friends on 30th December, 5 p.m. at Solution Fund City, Oka. Walk for Life, an opportunity to keep fit on 3rd January 2026, 7 a.m. at Alex Ekweme Square, Oka. LOL, Laugh Out Loud, a special comedy show on 3rd January, 5 p.m. at Solution Fund City, Oka, Indianambra. Get ready for a December to remember. Onwa December. Be there.
As the year draws to a close, we pause not just as a radio station, but as a grateful partner to say thank you. Thank you for believing in our voice. Thank you for trusting our platform. And thank you for choosing to grow with us throughout this year. From the beginning of this year to its final days, your support kept our microphones on, our programs impactful, and our community connected. Your patronage was more than business. It was confidence. It was partnership. At this moment, we sincerely appreciate Winners Global Estate, Celebrity Landlady, and Anti-Drug Organization. We say thank you to Wendy's Bread, Baboyo Herbal, Olojugu Microfinance Bank, and Their Real Homes. Our gratitude also goes to Crystal Garden Estate, Fazona Real Estate, Best Aluminium, Microfinance Bank, and Choose Star and Correct Star Wire. We acknowledge the support of Aswage Assets, Waskana Solar, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, Higher Ground Real Estate, Zenapex, and Christ Embassy. We also appreciate the Onitsha North Local Government and the Anambra State Government for their trust and collaboration. As we step into a new year, We do so with renewed commitment, fresh energy, and a promise to serve you even better. Thank you for an amazing year. We look forward to greater partnerships, greater impact, and greater success together in the year ahead. Because together, we are Udala. 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
You are listening to the Polity on the Radio 104.7 FM. It's 10:39 a.m. and this is the Thursday edition of this very show. This first day of January 2026. And the phone lines are now open for you to join this very conversation. 0803 221 6973 or 0803 827 6694 is a new edition of this very program. My name is Franklin, Ebuka, and I'm with Dr. Olisa Mbeki. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
This beautiful new day, new year. I'm not going to dwell on talking about the food that about me. You know those. Okay? Franklin, my friend, we have to trudge on. Glory be to God. And my man, oh, give it that. We have to trudging on. Glory, glory. I was so happy when I woke up this morning. And I did the prayer in by that guy, you know. It was good. I was happy. And for once, I didn't want to think about Nigeria's problem. See the people you're talking about. Do they really think about us? My name is Odadzi. I'm reaching you from Ila. Delta State. We are natural human beings live, or they've been so corporized into a state of stupor. But be that as it is, we're going to get out of it. Of course we will. We'll get out of it. Talking my Obi, I'm unrepentable, obedient. Oh yeah, we apportion blame, we apportion position, but we forget that this guy just came out of the blues. Like you remember, he came up. Not that he fell from air. No. He came, and then it was unbelievable. And I kept saying that Nigeria began to believe in providence. We said, God, we need a leader, someone that can deliver us. And those that do apologies for this present administration, I feel terribly sad. What are you talking about? Nigeria, do you know we've lost everything we got? The judiciary is gone. Education is gone. What else do we have left? What? And then we kept making apologies. Oh, 2000, it's just around the corner. Yes, we knew that. Sooner than later, it's going to stop. So when it comes, what happens? So we got to keep praying from now on.
All right.
For God will make him cap. Yeah, give us leaders. Although we wake up in the early morning, we can say, with that, become a more politician,
Okay.
I love Brianna, like yo-yos. Can you call people a politician? No. Can you call it someone?
All right. Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
then we get please to check on my face.
Thank you.
Give me this, you. Yes. Do you know?
Please, can you round off? Can you round off, please?
Please let it to me today. Give me grace of 1 second.
Okay.
Yes. I'm asking for it. Yes. I'm to keep telling you. It will start.
Okay. Just round off.
Yeah. And that increase you, my friend. Our country is gone. Thank God this call because it's hard. This year has to be better than it was last year, my friend. I know how many people that are feeding in the village. That is where it hurts. Some people like you that up and go to work in the morning. Yes, this year must be better. So you give me 1 second or 2 seconds, I will continue.
All right. Thank you.
Thank goodness Udala is here to help us to be shouting.
Thank you.
To the common people. That is why you had made the case. Yes. So that the common people will hear what you're talking about. What can I call you 1 minute? Mba!
All right. Thank you. Thank you for understanding, so that others are not going to ask for my head as they ask for the head of John the Baptist. Thank you very much for understanding. We appreciate your input, and of course, we wish you a very prosperous 2026. I praise that is going to favor everybody. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Okay. Your name?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Happy New Year to we all.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, my name is George, calling from Asaba.
Go on, George.
Yeah. You see, let me say something in clear terms here. I will still say this any day, anytime. This issue of whether we have voters card, I, George, have my voters card. I've been voting from day one. And there's no election that will come that I, George, won't vote as long as it affected me and it's our own area. Why am I saying this is in sense is that this 2027 election is not going to be that normal election that we all are hoping on. If the divas, everything is going to work according to plan. Let's not forget about all this shenanigan that Jason Wiki, all those guys are jumping up and down doing. It's not by rigging. People will be sitting down where he's sitting there today. We Nigerians, we know. So we can't be coming out to try to be looking like we are fooling some people or we are saying what we don't know.
Josh.
How many percent? Hello.
Just hold on.
Yeah.
This is not about you voting. Is what is the strength of the people who are going to vote with you for the person you prefer?
We did not vote. Let me tell you truth here. Please, let me say something. We are in a new year. In the last election, the people don't come out to vote. In the last election,
just hold on. You're not even getting the drift. What I keep on asking you is, you have one vote, right?
Yeah.
I have one vote.
Yes.
The question is, the people who are with you on the same sentiment,
yeah, what
is their numerical strength in comparison with others? Because this South is where we are in. If we begin to measure the numerical strength in terms of voting in comparison to other geopolitical zones, the Southeast has the lowest. So do you think it's the vote of the Saudi that is going to make that difference?
Let me tell you something. That's why I said that you are a journalist, so we must speak truth to the people in government. In the last election, P2P did not win in Abuja. The P2P did not win in Lagos. Did Lagos is a Southeast state? Did Abuja is Southeast state? That's a question that we should ask ourselves. If the actual vote that P2P have in Port Harcourt, in River State, that they gave in that vote, I will be saying what we are saying now. If Nigeria is a place that things work, if Nigeria is a place that if you vote, your vote will be counted. I will not to have this kind of discussion we are having now. No. It's not that things don't work in the country. That's why we are having this kind of concern. People are coming out to vote. It's not that after the vote, they don't count. It's not the same status that the last election, the final body that Soludo has the kind of vote that he has. Where did those votes mandated from? Is it those that vote for him. It's not too many that vote for him. So we are saying that let our vote count. We will see the change in this country. Not something of this 30%. Are you voting? Not for that.
All right.
Okay. Voting.
All right.
Not our vote are not be counted.
Thank you.
Reaching the way to elect power, we are coming out to say something I don't understand.
Tony, I think at this point, can we talk about this whole thing? This because this issue of voter education, it's something that is very dear to me, because sometimes people will not even listen when you want to do some analysis, when you want to see certain things. Somebody mentioned the number of votes that the governor of Anambra State won one election with. Anambra had 2.something million registered voters, and he won with about 400,000 votes, right? Okay. Now, because where we keep talking about this thing is, sometimes we try to use the sentiment we have around here to extrapolate, thinking that it's the same sentiment that you have across the nation, not knowing that it is not the same thing. He made reference to the last election that we had, where we won in Lagos State. You now ask yourself, who are those people who are populating Lagos State? He mentioned Abuja. You ask yourself, who are those who are populating Abuja? Then you now ask yourself, those people in Kano, in Katsina, in Kebbi, in Kaduna, who are people who are populating there?
I think I understand their point, and then we must also draw the lines. We are looking at voting strength and voters turnout. What is their voting strength as a region, and what is usually the voters turnout? If you go by INEC register, Nigeria as we speak now have 93.47 million registered voters. I think that was what we had before the 2023 general election. If you look at it, Northwest has about 22.3 million registered voters. Southwest has about 18.0, I think 18.0 million registered voters. North Central has 15.4 million registered voters, including FCT. Then you talk about South has 14.4 million registered voters. That's South. Northeast has about 12.2 registered voters. Southeast has 10.9, the least. That's what Franklin is trying to point out. When it comes to registered voters, we have the least. Then when it comes to turnout, we are talking about turnout. If you go by 2023 general election, Northwest recorded about 31.10% turnout. That's Northwest. So the total number of votes cast in the entire Northwest was about 6.9 million votes. North Central, are you listening? North Central had about 30.80 turnout of voters with about 4.7 million votes count. Then Northeast, 28.8% turnout with about 3.6 million votes count. Southwest, where Tinubu comes from, had about 24.73% with about 4.4 million votes cast. The people of Southwest produced 4.4 million votes. Southeast had about 20.92% turnout, 20.92, compared to Southwest with 24.73, compared to Northeast with 28.8, compared to North Central with 30 points, compared to Northwest with 31 points. Southeast had 20.92% turnout with about 3 million votes in the entire Southeast. So is that, even if you decide to give P2B the entire 3.something million votes, where would it take him to? I don't know. That's where Franklin is trying to come out from. South, where, because Asaba, Delta State, is also in South, right? South recorded even the worst, 20.85. Southeast was 20.92. South 20.85 with about 3 million votes. In fact, Southeast did not record up to 3 million votes. Southeast had 2.3 million votes. 2.3. Then it was South that had about 3.0 or 3 million votes. So if you combine South and Southeast, let's assume if we are to judge by the last election and say let's give P2B the vote from an entire vote from southeast and south, P2B will be having about 5 point something million votes. So will it take him anywhere? But I know many will say you have Lagos, you have Calabar. So the issue is why you expect vote from other regions. What are you doing in your own region? Having 20.95% voter turnout is so poor, not even up to 30%. And many of them will be on social media doing their voting there, and it will not count. Even INEC will compound it and introduce their own glitch. So the thing is, it is not by mouth, it is by work. I have made my own point.
Okay, so let's look who we have here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Yes.
Mr. Frank.
Good morning. Your name?
And happy New Year to you people, Tony Olisa Mbeki too.
You're welcome, my brother. It's good to have you.
What of Chisom since she's not available? Good morning to her and a happy New Year to her as well, wherever she is. My name is Mario Keshuka, calling from Onitsha.
Okay, go on, Mario.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to talk on when Mr. Speaker was analyzing concerning the OG deception and the people that followed OG. Now, Speaker, I want to still remind you because you may not understand. I don't know the way you're maybe a kind of supporting the governor. That we get a vote is just because there is no competition. Forget about what happened to Soludo. Soludo getting this landsliding victory, just one, he has no competitor. One. And two, he has done well. So there is nothing to compare. So whether any grassroots you are thinking about, not where federal kind of election is, that kind of sweeping of votes from P2B and the supporter will still happen till tomorrow. Even if they like, let them give us I myself, I voted Soludo. The first time I voted Apoga. You are as long as because of this that I told you, and it is so to so many other Anambarians. But that will not happen as well in federal constituency and there may be representation. So I want to tell you, if you are thinking that there is something better is not going back, no matter what Soludo do, no matter whatever he plans to do, I am very, very sure that Skitolu will still get that vote. And anybody who is following him will still get that vote. Because why that happened, we could remember. Labor. That was how it happened. And if you see happen, ADC. So do grandfathers used to vote. They don't want to make any mistakes. So if you are thinking that direction, it's better you start coming back. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Now, let me put myself on the spot now. Anybody listening now, go and mark it somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
Go and mark it somewhere. If P2B becomes a candidate of a party or becomes a running mate article, he cannot get the number of votes he got in 2023.
That's their prophecy. You've started prophecy.
Yes.
Franklin,
see,
are you a general overseer now?
No,
you are now making your prophecy. Look at what the prophecy. And many
it's not prophecy. It's my prediction based on analysis, based on trends I've seen.
You know, I'm just trying to imply religious terms, because in religious terms we don't call it prediction, we call it prophecy. But in our own political terms we call it prediction. We don't call it prophecy. But you are saying, and many may not be happy with it, but it's your opinion. You say that the vote recorded by P2B in the last election in 2023, he may not have that kind of vote again in 2027. That's their own prediction. But I've just said one thing here, because I said that 2023 and 2027 will not be the same. And I'm not saying it will not be the same in this way or in that way. I said they will not be the same. And I know that even in football, we saw Arsenal being beaten by Aston Villa, right? At Villa's Park, 2-1. Just, it was a case of in the next some days, 10 or 11 days or 12 days, we saw a repeat of that match. What happened? We saw Arsenal thumping Aston Villa 4-1. So that to tell you that that is more like a game of politics. You must sharpen your tools, sharpen your weapons. Don't sit back and think what happened will happen. It won't work that way. And then you said level, ADC. My brother, it might not really repeat that way. It might be close to that, but it might not really repeat that way. And those who are following P2B, we saw most of them. People may vote P2B for presidency and decide to vote another person for Senate. He will not be. He might not really be from bottom or from top to bottom again. He might not really be, because people will be asking questions. Those that follow Peter Obi, to those that followed him and they voted him to National Assembly, where are they today? We saw many of them defecting, leaving Labour in Enugu State. All of them that followed him, even Chukwu, the man that they killed, and then later on the brother was used to replace him. Where is Chukwu today? Has he not gone to APC? In fact, most of these Labour candidates, we saw them not performing. Now, many of them, in fact, many people that voted them said we made a mistake. This time around, whoever we want to vote is not going to be up to bottom. That we will look at your capacity. If they may decide to vote Peter Obi, yes, for president, but somebody who is going to go in for Senate or for House of Representatives, you must answer your surname. You cannot ride on Peter Obi's back. You must answer your surname. So I've heard people making such statements.
That thing people do not understand about politics. It happens once. After the once, people go in to analyze. Even people you had beaten in some areas, they go back to their cocoons and see how to, relaunch and come around. So 2027 is going to be a different ball game.
I'm not going to make prediction now, but
and like I
we
said,
are going to watch.
And like I said, just this thing I just said now, I want people to take note of it, so that by the end of the day, we'll come back to it. Now, on those,
I don't know if you have seen Mr. President's New Year message.
Yes. I would just want to see how we can quickly use it to close, because of course we have some reactions. Odile Aloysius, Master Bay, Oba Anthony, Chinagoron Favor, Arinze, Jimbwe, Paulino Sokona, Mazunwori, Young Bay, Anoms, Nana, Chukwudi Joshua, also Francis, Ezehila, plenty of them, about 20 of them, which I don't know why. Thank you all for all the posts you made on our Facebook page. So Tony, we are finishing with that. Mr. President's New Year speech, and he made some projections. He believed that 2026 is going to be better for Nigeria. Do you agree with him?
I believe that 2026 will be much more better, but I'm looking at in the area of security. Can we have state police in 2026? What effort has he made? It's not by making statements or speeches. What effort has he rallied the governors and then put every framework in place for us to have community police and state decentralizing policing architecture and providing clauses and provisions where the governors cannot use these structures arbitrarily, because as we are approaching 2027 general election, look at his speech. Of course, he said that the path to reform is never easy, but he said that he has done so much about national stability. He quite said a lot of things. Of course, he said that the decisive action we are taking against terrorist targets in parts of the Northwest on December 24th. Was it to the December 24th? That is okay. He said decisive action. Decisive what? Actions. I thought the strike was on December 25th.
The thing is, it happened in the night that brought about 25th.
Okay, let's forgive him. For using December 24th, but US is saying 25th December. Mr. President in his speech said 24th, but in any way, that one is understandable. And then he talks about in 2026, he said that the security and intelligence agencies will deepen cooperation with regional and global partners to eliminate all threats to national security. So he said the country remains committed to protecting lives, properties, and territorial integrity. We want to see that protection this moment. To talk is so cheap. We want to see these things coming to fruition. At least the US, they have done their own. You said there was partnership and all of that. I saw what he said about our foreign direct portfolio, foreign direct, and so many things. But we project a better 2026, and I use this opportunity to welcome everybody and also say prosperous New Year to every one of us.
Okay, so on that very note, we end today's conversation. We thank every one of you for for joining us. I know that some of the things that happened today, you might not find somewhere in your heart to have it, but the thing is this: you keep on. What I do tell people is, if we do not tell you the hard truth and the fact, you might live by emotions. But by the time it happens, you keep on blaming yourself. My name is Franklin and Ebuka. Thank you for listening.
104.7 Udala Radio.
As the year draws to a close, We pause not just as a radio